Hi, my name is Jaden, Opalia, and I grew up in a Catholic home, but my family and I weren't very invested into it, especially me. I didn't really know what it was about, but it wasn't until my grandpa came over to our house and asked my parents if we would like to do a Bible study. I said yes to something I didn't understand, got baptized at my grandpa's church, and spent pretty much a year there, and nothing really happened until the following year, June 22nd, the day before birthday. There was something weird just about the day. It was like stormy, a tornado was about to show up, and the sky was pretty yellow, and just a weird day. And I get a call from my dad, and we're at the house. He tells me, hey, bring your family downstairs. There's a tornado in the area. We'll be back home soon. And a couple minutes later, my parents arrived from grocery shopping for some reason in the middle of a tornado. And they, we just all sit down and wait for the storm to pass. As I was waiting, I was sitting and playing a game. And as I was waiting, I hear screaming. Turn the corner and I see my dad on the ground, laying on his back. And you can see this blank expression on his face, and you can tell that there's something wrong. And so I called 911, and my mom started performing CPR. And what felt like 5 hours was 5 minutes. The EMS finally arrived. And they come downstairs to the basement and tell us to go upstairs, we'll take care of it. But as I was going upstairs, I looked at my dad and saw the EMT workers next to him, and one of them looked at his partner and said he was gone. And so that day, my father passed away the day before my 14th birthday. It wasn't until the funeral that I really had such a hatred for God. My family and I went to a restaurant after the funeral. I was sitting at this restaurant praying this sort of last plea. It's almost like an ultimatum. And I know you shouldn't make ultimatums with God, but I was a grieving kid, so it made sense too. It was reasonable. But I was sitting there and I was praying, God, if this is your plan and you're going to do something about it, give me something I can't deny. Show me something I can't deny. I felt the need to get up and go outside and just go for a walk. But then when I looked up, I saw a rainbow in the sky. And I thought of the covenant with Noah that God made, and how he promised him that he would never cause a disaster or the flood to ever happen again. And so I thought, okay, that's cool, whatever. So I walked again, I kept walking down the street with my head down again. And then I looked up again, and right in front of me there was a sign that said, don't give up. And so that moment, to me, I knew that Jesus was real. That moment is when I established in my heart a covenant with God. And that I believe that Jesus and everything that he did for me became real. It suddenly became this real thing. After that, my life completely changed. I got more involved in youth ministry and worship and tech team and all these other things. No longer anger at God, but this unwavering love and passion for his kingdom. And I now think that's why I want to be a part of this church plant. It's because I look back at my life and I see how God has worked and the skills and the gifts that he's given me. Well, how can I serve where God has me right now? And so I found UBC. I've been going there for 2 years. And then I met Bryson. And Bryson was starting up this cool concept called church planting. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. I'd like to look into that. I'd like to see what that's about. And after hearing more about what it was and going to meetings and praying about it with the Lord, with my fiance, I decided this is where the Lord wants us. And I want to make sure that people of Hebrew Heights know God sees them and hears their prayers, and that they can get this unwavering love and passion for him and his word and for the rest of his people. So that is my testimony, and that is why I'm coming to Gospel Heights.